Hey guys, and welcome back to Gamers Eden. I'm Matt,
I'm Tim.
and we're continuing our little trip of Abzu slash intelligent DG conversations.
DG conversation.
It's been a long week.
This is our series where we play pretty games and talk about Dungeons and Dragons. Because why not? Because we're weird. Yeah. We also have no idea what's going on in this game because it's been a while since we recorded last and we're trying to figure it out. So we hope you'll forgive us. I think we're in Atlantis.
If I remember, I haven't really been paying too much to story, and I haven't really been looking at there's a story that's told on the murals and everything, and I haven't really
Wow.
read them.
because why would you do that?
So,
It's a very pretty looking game, though. Anyway, this is our series where, well, Matt, do you want to describe what we do?
where we came up with a bunch of random things about D&D and conversations, because we ourselves are amateur DMs that have been doing it for a couple years now, and we thought, why not record our conversations and our agreeances or controversies about certain topics that come up a lot during our games that we think would be good to talk about.
Basically, we think that we are the best people to talk about D&D, and that we are the most qualified out of anyone, and our opinion is law. Essentially. Or maybe not. Anyway.
One of these not working. I should be able to whatever. Fuck it. Oh, that's why I have to hold the trigger. Okay. Sorry. Continue.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Today's topic on Dragons in the Eden. Is that a good name for it? Yeah. I don't know. Dungeons in
bad.
Eden? Not bad. Huh? We're just brainstorming here. Today's topic on
Do
my
it
list
live.
on my list of many topics, is what, in your opinion, is the best quality in a player? And now you can talk about this from the DM's perspective, what you like to have at the table, or what you think is your most valuable asset when you're at the table. I think they're probably going to be the same answer.
I don't know.
But that's a big turtle. The question is, what is the best quality that a player can have in Dungeons and Dragons? You can start it off, or I can start it off. It's up to you.
Why don't you start it off?
All right.
You usually do. To think about it. You'll answer.
All right. Very well.
Because fuck preparing.
The best quality in a player, and you think I'd prepare because I have the questions, but I don't. The best quality in a player, I think, at a DM's table, I don't know, the ability to be invested in the game. I'm not even sure that's a quality, but I'm almost saying to go all out. Now, I think there can be a lot of common answers like this that are pretty service level, like the ability to role play, or, you know, they understand their rules well, or they understand their character well. But I think the best quality in a player is probably their desire to be there and their ability to let it all go and just to play that character outright. And what I mean by that is, like, you don't have to be good at role playing. But if you try to, awesome. You don't have to know all the rules. But if you try to, awesome. I'm glad you're at my table when you want to be at my table. Like, this is a really pretty game. Like, I don't expect players to be magnificent, perfect, critical role players. I don't expect them to innovate at every opportunity. I don't expect them to blow me away with their RPing or come up with creative solutions all the time. It's great when they do those things. It's awesome when they do those things and when they surprise you and lend the narrative to being more engrossing and more interesting and throw wrenches in your plans. I love those moments. But those moments, in my opinion, happen because they want to be at the table and they are trying. They're trying their best. They're not afraid to make mistakes as long as they're having fun doing it. So I'm not exactly sure what quality I narrow that down to, whether or not it's just interest in the game or commitment to playing all out. I guess the idea is not being afraid to try things and just showing up ready to play to the best of your ability. And just have fun doing it, I guess. It's kind of a convoluted answer, but I think you kind of get it, right?
No, I get what you're saying. I agree with a good amount. I do feel that a quality, I guess if we're talking about specifically a quality, then I would definitely want the quality of the player that.
Go, Matt. Sounds stupid.
The quality that a player, I think more what I focus on is a player that, like you said before, gets invested. I think that's what more I'd like to focus on, because I recently had a player that did not seem invested in the campaign at all, and we actually ended up he actually ended up leaving the campaign, and it wasn't just because he was not all invested or not all there, but that was a good portion of it where he told me, he's like, I don't feel invested, I don't feel like I'm checked into the campaign. I'm like, well, you're the only one, because everybody else told me that they were loving it. But so I feel that would be a quality for me in particular, that and the ability to work with the other players. Because again, it's kind of stressing the fact that he kind of created a lot of scenarios while he was having fun, other people were suffering for it. So kind of being able to understand and be able to work with your players, being able to, I'm taking this not just from a DM's perspective, but from a player's perspective. I want to be able to enjoy the people I'm at the table with.
Yeah.
And so for me, I want to be able to not only have the players enjoy the time, but I enjoy the time as well. But also know that everybody's a friend and in and out of the game. And so, because if you're good friends, and if you're good enough friends, that role playing comes out a lot more innately. In that ability to be able to be invested and create this wonderful world that you're able to experience. It's a lot easier when you're around people that you like. If you're, I commend people that can go to the comic book shop or tabletop stores and just play games with others.
Yeah,
I commend people that can do that, because I could not do that. But for me, it's I feel there's a much stronger connection when it is with your friends, and it is with those people that you can really trust and give them that. Oh gosh, you can give them that. You can give your all to it because you can trust them. So that would probably be my couple of things.
The ability to work with others or cooperate with other players. That's kind of what you're.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of the innate, the innateness of being able to cooperate with others. And I mean, it's not exactly a hard quality to have, but again, I've had a situation now that it didn't really happen. So it's kind of I want to make sure that doesn't happen again for me.
Yeah.
Personally. And it might be different for others. Maybe people like it when people have controversy and people kind of fight with each other. I'm kind of because there was, my players all agreed that it's just this was a problem. It had to be fixed. Aberrant. God, this game. But it's just I don't want problems with people. maybe I just kind of strive for a bit of a, a bit of a critical role setting where everybody loves each other, and but I also didn't innately create a chaotic / good campaign like Mercer did. Mercer created a very good campaign. Both me and you have created much more neutral.
Kind of.
Or maybe not innately, but we definitely let our players pick neutral. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of neutral.
I'm definitely going to be a little bit more strict on alignment probably for my next full campaign. Not like this one, but like my next campaign, I might be a little bit stricter on. Hey, this is going to be this kind of campaign. Make sure you're with this alignment.
Yeah, because it does throw a wrench in the plans when you're like planning a save the world campaign and everyone's like, well, I'm neutral, I don't really care, which is fine. There's a time and place for neutral characters, but if you're trying to make a save the world story and everyone's neutral, a little bit more difficult.
Yeah,
I get that.
I feel like true neutral is the easy way out.
Those fish. Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh no.
No, and the next question I had really was what's the worst quality in a player, and I think you already hit on it with my answer for it is kind of the opposite of what your answer for the best player is. If you can't get along with the rest of the players, then we're in trouble. Because to me, Dungeons & Dragons is a cooperative game. You play with other people. There's nothing worse than the DM trying to create a story and all the players on board and being invested in that story, and one other person or two other people or a few people, whatever, just not being there. Now, at some point, if no one's invested, you have to take a step back and be like, wait, that's me as a DM. Like, I'm not providing a story that is interesting. But if you have one person who just is at the table and they're in conflict with other players, that's an issue. Now, the reason they're in conflict can be all sorts of things. And the reason and the differences are not a bad thing. Maybe someone wants a more story-driven campaign and you're just running combat. And they're just not engaged because of that. Well, there's nothing wrong with wanting a more story-driven campaign. I would normally want a more story-driven campaign. But if they're the only... Anomaly detected. Turn off your phone, Matt. We're recording.
Well,
this is a professional environment. And you're...
Yep. Professional. Got it. Continue.
Spit on me. If the player can't get along with other players, that's an issue. Now, I feel like I'm kind of meshing things. There's two sides of this coin. One is not aligning your playstyle with Ghost Shark. Not aligning your playstyle with the others, and that's fine. If you want one type of game and they want something else, you're not a bad player. But if you're at the table, and you can see alignment. If you are at the table and you know what the other players are doing and what the players like, and you're blocking that because there's not a bond there, or because you want what you want and you're not willing to work with the other players. I guess to make this more specific, the worst trait to have... Okay.
Alright, go ahead. Sorry,
that was pretty. The worst trait to have is not letting other players have their moment.
I have infinite things.
Infinite things?
So I can just...
Ooh.
Whee! Oh god. Oh, okay. Sorry, continue.
The worst player trait to have is not accepting, not allowing other players to have fun. And thinking that your fun is the only fun, and really getting your fun at the expense of other players. Now, I think the most common thing about this is I don't like where this is going right now. I don't like where this story's going right now. I'm going to kill the merchant on the street because I want to fight someone. Well, you might have fun killing all the guards, but the rest of the players have to deal with your shit now. And that's not fun for them. So, not working with other players, not being a team player, I know it's kind of cliche, I think that's the worst trait. And I took a really long time to get around to saying that, but I think that's kind of my opinion of worst trait is nothing bad with any wants or needs, but if you're not able to put your needs aside every once in a while for everyone else to have fun, that's where it becomes a problem. Your thoughts?
I mean, I completely agree with you on the fact that it's just that. I think just one more as just kind of just a note.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who doesn't want to roleplay.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't a bad one innately, but when I first started DMing, I was running my own little campaign. It was actually like a custom campaign. It wasn't.
Was I in this one or?
No, you were in for like that one.
Oh, was this your like knight?
Yeah, it was the one that was kind of based off of Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a bad one, but it definitely was my beginning stages of being a DM.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just wasn't amazing, as everything else I do is.
Yes, of course.
You know. Oh god, fuck! I'm dying. Don't worry about it. Oh, wee! Look at all the fish coming with me.
Follow.
Oh, that's awesome. Ooh.
Maybe we need a different game.
Oh, I think this is fun. But yeah, so it just when it came to role playing, and role playing's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. You're really good at it. I'm okay at it. I try to, but usually I've really only role played neutral characters. I haven't really role played good characters, or really I haven't role played. But it's like role playing a good character can be really hard sometimes. I get that, but like I created this campaign, and it was like it was pretty streamed towards good. Oh, I gotta get up there. Wow. And he messaged me one day about this. He's like, you don't know how to separate the game from the table. Like, he didn't like that I was... Because you do this, you and me both do this, where we try to address our players as their characters' names, not their names.
Yeah.
Because we think it's more fun that way. We think it immerses it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like me doing that.
Really?
Yes. He's like, you need to separate the game from the table, the game and the
Well, you weren't,
table.
like, referring to him by his character's name, like, in real life, were you?
No. Like, I renamed, like, in the Facebook group, I, like, renamed them their characters' names, but that was just kind of for fun.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Wee whale. But, like, I don't know, it's just, like, he's like, you need to learn to separate the game from the table. I'm like, I'm just trying to keep it immersive, dude. Like, what the hell? Whales.
So yeah, instead of calling me Balasar, like asking Balasar, what do you want to do? He wanted you to be like, Tim, what do you do?
Yeah, he wanted me specifically to call him by his name. He wanted it to be a game. He didn't want it to be immersive. Like, he wanted the game. He didn't want any roleplay aspect.
Oh, interesting.
So,
well, I think we got... I think
if you don't want to roleplay, that's one thing.
Uh-huh.
But it's like, I guess compromise would be what I'm looking for. Like, because like he was like, no, and he was very, very, like, I don't want to say elitist about it, but really kind of was. Whereas kind of like he just would not bend on this. I'm like, well, can't you try and roleplay a little bit? Don't you want to roleplay? And he was like, no, I don't want to. And I'm like, well, everyone else wants to. So, oh god, cause epilepsy. So, like, and it didn't, I guess it just didn't make sense to me. And maybe some people don't like the role-playing, and that's fine, but it's like, if you're in a game and everyone else is role-playing, I think it's kind of part of you to try and do it too. I mean, maybe not, but, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why, I guess I don't understand why people would have a problem with it. I guess that's more a personal, I guess that's more of a personal thing.
Yeah. I think, honestly, what you're getting at here is...
That's supposed to be grass that does not really look like grass.
No,
there we go. It turned into grass. Okay.
I think what you're getting to is kind of what I said as well, right? Working with other people. If you had a whole group of people that didn't want to roleplay, sure, that's fine. Let's just go kill stuff, right? But if one player's at the table, everyone else is roleplaying, and then they go to the DM and say, no, we need to change all of this because I don't want to do it, that's when it's a problem, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I would be fine if a game just didn't want to roleplay at all. Maybe not fine. I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. But if all my players were like, yeah, we don't really want to roleplay, that's Abzu, folks.
Whoops. The game's over. Sorry.
If all of my players were like, we don't want to roleplay...
Also, the shark's alive again, by the way.
Oh, yay!
So, he was resurrected, apparently, by...
Through the magic.
And so was I, apparently.
Boom.
Tech thing. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
It's all about your players. It's all about people working together to decide what they want out of a game. Because that's adaptable. No matter what game you're in, the ability to work with people... Hey, this is about life in general. The ability to work with other people and come to a consensus of what's going to make the most people happy, that's what you need. What you don't need is someone who says, this is how I want it, so that's how it's going to be. That's a problem if you're a player, and that's also a problem as a DM. And this is a problem I've had as a DM. And my next thing's going to be about DM, so we might need to save it for the next episode. But
good point. I mean, the game's kind of over, so,
yeah.
I mean, kind of hard to keep going on the note when the game's kind of ending.
Yeah. So, I think we're kind of in agreement. The ability to work with other people, or the ability to not work with other people, is a bad trait. And while we kind of had different elements of what makes a good trait, the ability to work with people is definitely up there. As well as to try. To want to be at the table, and to give it your best shot. And to have fun. Because, at the end of the day, Dungeons & Dragons is a game. And if you show up wanting to have fun, you're going to have fun. And when you have fun, the people around you are going to have fun. Well, then like Matt and I, when we just kill them for no reason. Like,
did I tell you that one of
happy.
Our players straight up died in one of...
Okay. That's happened in our campaigns.
I mean, we'll talk about that later. So we can talk about that on the next one.
Maybe we'll talk about that.
This would actually be a good point to talk about because...
Okay.
So...
Very well.
I thought about it.
We'll talk about that next time in this series of Dragons in Eden. I'm going with it.
Going with it? Alright. Dragons in Eden.
See you guys later.
Burn down...
I just saluted them. We don't have a frickin' camera. Bye guys, I'm waving at you.
You'll never believe me.
Just end the frickin' recording.
Alright.